Hello and welcome to the Voice of Rio Grande. I'm Craig Klein, Dean of Rio Grande Community College Programming. And today we take a little look at the operation and the folks behind it who produce quite a few television programs here on Rio's campus. My guest today, Mr. Patrick Dengel.
Oh, it's great to be back and talk with you, Craig.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Yeah, Patrick is the executive producer of the OSU RIO Collaboration for television programs.
Yes, as a matter of fact, through the efforts of Mike Thompson, he's the director of the Instructional Design and Media Services, we got things going here, and then we had an opportunity to open up a second studio, and that studio is at the Ohio State University South Centers, and that's under Dwayne Rigsby. Both Mike and Dwayne are also hosts of several of the really good programs that we are able to put on.
So in this collaboration, there are, I think, 28 to 30 programs a month that are produced.
Yes.
Many of them here where we are sitting right now on the campus of Rio Grande.
That is correct.
So tell me, in the world of media and Facebook and all of it, and Skype, and why television and why here?
Well, that's a very good question. First of all, with the background of Mike interplays in a lot of this. But 10 years ago, there was a little-known software package or little-known internet program that you could get on. It was called Blog Talk Radio, and Blog Talk Radio was primarily that. First of all, it was free. You could get on Blog Talk Radio and say and do anything that you wanted. We at the Ohio State University contracted with the University of Rio Grande to provide business educational programs, primarily in the experiential level that would meet the needs of MBA students here at the university as well as business students. At that time, I primarily worked as a small business development counselor, which I still do. And because of the background that I had with owning my own business, I had the opportunity to be that coordinator, the experiential learning coordinator. So the two universities sort of came together in a collaboration format.
Good. And that has led all the way, what year was that approximately?
I joined University of Rio Grande on a part-time basis. I'm still an Ohio State University employee, but that was in 2009. And in 2010, as we were working with the MBA students and providing MBA experiential learning educational programs, I got together with Jason Winters, who's the chair of the College of Business, and several other individuals, and we started looking at how can we help the MBA students get in front of different venues, media venues.
Okay.
And it so happened that Blog Talk Radio was an upcoming thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this or not, but at that time, Ohio State University and Ohio University were toying around with podcasting. And it was primarily the faculty person would give their lecture, and then the students could at any time go on the internet and listen.
Listen to it.
And I thought, boy, this would be really great if we could get 5 or 6 individuals to listen to a show. What the heck? And
so you did.
yes, we did. So through the efforts of Jason and myself, we got some of the students involved, and we started doing a weekly show. And that led to many of the students coming on, and we really had a good time. About a year and a half later, one of the individuals said, you know, we ought to go to Mike Thompson and see if we can use their TV facility, because
And Mike Thompson is an employee here at Rio Grande.
he is the director of the Instructional Design and Media Services, and he's behind the camera right now. And Mike has always been a very positive individual, willing to do anything for students, And so we sat down together and said, you know, this is what we'd like to do. And so we started doing what is called Business Talk. It's a radio and a TV program using their studio. And as things progressed, we started getting in unique, different kinds of individuals to talk about. Primarily it was business. The interesting thing is we had students in front and behind the cameras leading the charge. And, you know, what better way to...
Serving as studio techs of one kind or another?
That's right.
Very good.
And then Mike, Jason, and I, 2.5 years later, got the brilliant idea, let's have 3 shows.
Oh.
1 at 1, 2, and 3, because we were getting in a lot of individuals.
So it sounds like it took on a life of its own.
Oh, yes, yes.
And pretty soon it was expanding.
Yes. And
to this rather significant schedule that
yes.
exists today.
Yes,
so,
that's correct.
So a collaboration between RIO and OSU South Centers. Now, centers is plural, but isn't it one campus?
Well, yes, it is. The Ohio State University South Centers, located in Piketon County, is a research facility. There are 4, with Ohio State University, there are 4 different campuses, educational campuses, and the South Centers is primarily, for lack of better terms, a shoot-off or a grandchild of Worcester campus, in which they are a larger agricultural research program.
So let me see if I have this correctly. So if one went down to that campus, one would find programs in, see if my list is accurate, aquaculture,
yes,
horticulture,
yes,
cooperative things, business networking, soil and bioenergy,
yes,
and Endeavor.
And the Endeavor Center, that is a business incubator in which we were able to acquire the funds to put in an incubator that would help small businesses come together and then grow their business.
I'm willing to bet that some of the programs are themed around some of these various parts.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
You know, in our TV programs, we have a variety of different ones, but you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
They're in education, they're in agriculture, horticulture, etc.
Okay. I'd like to remind everyone, this is the voice of Rio Grande. I'm Craig Klein, Dean of Rio Grande Community College Programming. My guest today is Mr. Patrick Dengel, and we're talking about the unique collaboration that exists between Rio Grande and OSU South Centers.
That's correct.
Very
That's
good.
Correct.
So we produce all of these programs, and I have quite a list of shows here, and we're actually going to go through them in a minute. And to do that requires requires a certain investment. And so the equipment in the room here that people cannot see that helps create this program was funded how?
Well, that would be a good question for Mike to answer. But in essence, you have an educational department here that helps students have hands-on as well as educational programs. So the equipment that you see here was a department that was a growth. I believe Mike has been here for 29, maybe 30 years, in which they asked him to help build a studio that students could better understand the media formats.
Sure.
And it started out as a radio station, and then it started out as the Rio Grande Cable Access TV that covers 4 counties, and it just sort of grew.
Okay, good. That also gives me an intro into the next part of what I wanted to ask you. So we're producing all these programs. Where are they? Where does one find these programs to view? How does one know that they are produced and available?
Well,
where do they go? Where are they distributed?
Well, one of the things that one needs to understand is that in the last 40 years, we went from 3 major cable companies to about 100. Many of those cable companies, et cetera, have a large following, and many don't, and many are building. So we're sort of fortunate to, when we do shows, we do them live. So in other words, if you have an internet capability, you can see our live show. So there might be some individuals watching us live.
Okay, where would they be watching us live? Online?
Yes, and
we'll cover that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll show you how you get into that.
But I understand you can see these in Cincinnati?
Yes, yes. So what we do is we store them on YouTube, and it's no cost to anyone, and the listeners and the viewers, of course, have to pay by watching certain kinds of commercials that YouTube's put on.
Okay.
But it's usually very free. In the last year or two, we've been fortunate to, with our production of the different shows, that Anderson Community TV in Cincinnati is a PEG station. PEG is Public Educational
and Government.
Yes.
Okay.
And they show some of our shows.
Okay.
Recently, we were contacted by PTVL, or PTV, Perkins Community TV, up in Youngstown, and they service all of Trumbull County, which is not only Youngstown is a large city, but also a very agricultural city. They were interested in many different programs that we have. So every show that we show, they see 1 to 2 weeks later.
Okay. And these are all archived somewhere as well?
Yes, on YouTube. So anyone can go at our different sites, and they can watch past shows. They can watch them many times.
Do these locations such as Youngstown or Cincinnati have the capacity to go back into the archives if they chose? If they so chose?
Yes. As a matter of fact, they show our different shows. We send it to them 10 links. So they are building their archives.
Got it.
And usually at 8 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, I'm sorry, at 5 o'clock and at 10 o'clock.
On any given day?
Yes, they show our shows.
That's a lot of us.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes,
we like us.
I think very much so.
So we have all these programs, and I'm going to go for a breakdown in the basic categories of shows that are produced.
Sure.
Between the and again, not all these are necessarily produced here, but many, if not most, are. Here being Rio Grande.
One of the things that Mike and Dwayne and Jason and I felt was that we also needed a number of different hosts. You know, to really effectively develop various different programs, etc. Hosts bring a certain personality to the shows, just like with the Voice of Rio Grande. We have different hosts within the Voice of Rio Grande. We have the president and the provost and the dean of community programming. We have the deans at some of the other colleges, etc. And so we have around 40 different hosts. Now, some of them are co-joined, and some of the hosts cover 1 or 2 shows.
Okay.
But that sort of spurred the interest of being able to channel where our programs go.
I see. So we have categories of programs that have evolved over time, particularly in the last 9 years or so.
Yes.
9 to 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you just to comment briefly on these categories individually, and then we'll actually take a look at what the shows are.
Okay.
And we even have slides. We have slides from all of these shows that are produced here. I think I think it's impressive how much television programming is actually generated here at Rio Grande on a monthly basis.
And we have many students behind the scenes that assist, and that's the important thing.
Good. Okay, so the first general category I'm going to go for is community.
Community, it's sort of a...
What is community?
Well, it's...
Beyond the obvious.
It's general interest. First of all, we are a public educational access program. And in essence, it's up to us to give the kind of content that we feel listening audiences and viewing audiences might want to see. So we don't go out on the limb and say, hey, we're going to show you how to build a nuclear bomb. We take the talents of our hosts and we take the talents of our people and we sort of help mold some of the shows.
Okay.
And so one of the things that we found is a dog show. And you'll see in a little bit, that's one of our very popular programs that's shown in Cincinnati.
I see.
We
Dog
have
show, no cat show. I had to get that in. No bird show.
No
But
bird
we have
show.
dogs.
I know.
We have dogs. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Okay.
Jubilee Museum is it talks about the Catholic artifacts, the Christian artifacts. We have Safety Net. We have Choosing Recovery, which is a addiction program, and Body Talk, where you can maintain your health.
Wonderful. So that's category 1 of 5, broad category. Talk to me about extension. What is extension briefly, and then what types of shows might one find?
Yeah, land grants. Ohio State University is a land grant university, which basically means we're here to foster the growth of those individuals that are very much actively involved in agriculture, rural life.
Sure.
And then it just sort of mushroomed into other kinds of things. So an extension program, we have educators and personnel in each of the counties in the state of Ohio, just like all throughout United States. OSU works with different parts of Ohio in providing education, counseling services, things of that nature.
Sure.
So that's what extension is.
As opposed to pure agriculture, which would probably be its own category.
That is correct.
So we would find agriculturally themed programs.
Yeah, and so we have a 4-H person that recently graduated from college, and he's the 4-H coordinator. He brings in all students from different international areas. We have nutrition, we have egg resources in certain counties, etc. We have food nutrition.
Good. And education,
Education
one near and
is-
dear to me at this particular moment.
Well, it's,
So obviously you have several Rio Grande personnel
yes,
who are doing shows
Yes.
that have slightly
Yes.
different themes to them.
yes,
And mine, of course, is the community aspect of
Yes.
things.
That's
But
right.
we have, the president does a show, 2 of the academic deans do a program, that sort of thing, and the provost does a show as well.
that's right. And we also have 2 high schools that are represented and a superintendent. They all have their own shows during the fall and the spring.
Good. And last but not least, business. Which could be anything from computers to actual manufacturing.
Well, financial information. If you're interested in, those computers, Tech Talk, which was the show just prior to this one, where they talk about different technology, things of that nature. So we try to give a wide variety.
Very good. All right, everyone. We are about to see a little bit of each of these programs. So, and they're clustered on days, or as one sees in the slide here. So the first Wednesday of each month, OVB, Ohio Valley Bank, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Common Sense.
Yeah.
And this is a picture from one of the shows.
Yes, and where they're talking with Tony Staley about use of credit.
Okay, good. Next.
And here's a dog show, which Tom and Mike talk about. And here they were talking about grooming habits.
How to groom, okay.
Yeah, and making sure that ticks don't get on.
I see. Okay.
And
And of course, I know who that is. That's
Yes.
the Chancellor of
Higher
the State of
Ohio-
Higher Education for
Yes.
the State of Ohio.
Yes, and
it's
of
John
course,
Kerry
Dr. Johnston.
and Dr. Johnston. the
And she was
president.
very fortunate to be able to talk with him.
Good.
Then now these are on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have from our studio, we have culture cast.
So these categories that we just discussed a minute ago, community extension, agriculture, education, and business, are actually sprinkled as though they had been shuffled across days of a month.
Yes.
So this particular one, culture cast, let's take a look at these as we go.
Yeah.
Culture cast.
And there is Dustin, and he's talking with a person from Chile, or a student that went to Chile.
Okay, good.
And then we have the, this is the food ag nutrition. What he talks about, now Dan is a diabetic, and he is also a doctor of food nutrition. And so he goes around throughout the state of Ohio talking about good things to eat and better things to eat. They were talking about sugar.
Okay, I can see. I see sodas there. Okay,
And
next up?
then we have Wanda Dengel. She is talking with Sean Kenny. There's an old Gutenberg Bible.
Oh, really?
In which he's talking about the different things, and they Skype from Columbus and Piketon.
Good. All right. This is quite a wide variety of things. Let's take a look at the second Wednesday and Thursday. Safety net exposition, my goodness, okay.
Now this is here at the University of Rio Grande, where we have, and our fortune, we're fortunate enough to have Lieutenant Call from the Highways State Patrol and Scott Borden, and we're talking about being safe. Just last week we had Mike talk about motorcycle safety.
Good. That's next.
And this is Exposition. This is one of our favorite shows in which they bring on various different arts and crafts. Ashley.
Baking, design, delivery.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Next one.
And here we have Dr. Richard Sachs. He's talking with Debbie Sanders. She's with the Bossard Library. As a matter of fact, she's going to have her own program.
Good. That's terrific.
So as you can see, I'll tell you what, we're running a little bit out of time. Maybe Mike can just put up.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll go with this. Here are the rest of the shows. So agricultural news, tree talk. All right.
And
here's
the third Wednesday of each month.
Okay, so take a look at some of these pictures.
There's Agri-Talk. Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
Yep.
Me.
Ah, yeah, that's you.
Captured with our very special guest with the oxygen mask on.
I forget what you called him. And then third Thursday of each month, we have the Portsmouth Chat. It's the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, and that's produced down at South Centers?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's Manufacturing Partners. She was with the state of Ohio. She's the director of the manufacturing.
Okay. Next up.
And Chelsea is talking with a gentleman about soil compaction.
Okay. Wow.
And then
this is a full schedule.
This is the third,
Wednesday,
the fourth Wednesday of each month.
Fourth Wednesday of each month. So
Choosing Recovery is our addiction. Body Talk, Eye of the Storm.
Very good.
Here's where we have Sheriff Woods.
Okay. Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, everyone loves this show. And then our two deans, they do
this together, not individually.
Yes, they bring in a lot of students and activities.
That's from the point of view of the viewer. That's Dean Donna Mitchell on the left, and Dean Heather Duda on the right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then of course, our fourth Thursday we have South Centers Chat. We have radio media. We have a radio person that comes on.
Okay. Here we go.
And then we have our special presentations. This is Ivory. Ivory brought in some egg people.
Okay.
And then, of course, Tom Worley, he's the director of the Chamber of Commerce. He has his own show, too.
Very good. We still have some.
Oh,
and here you are.
Yes, and here we're talking about food. Wherever there's food, I'm around.
Okay. Is that all of them?
And
here's what you need. Here is where you find these programs.
Yes.
And so you can explore for yourself
Yes.
the many facets of this collaborative arrangement.
And really, the easiest way to find us is youtube.com/ and then Rio Grande Cable Access, or youtube.com/ Cell Centers.
Very good. Thank you very much. With that, we're going to bid a quick goodbye, and thank you for watching our program today. We've been talking about OSU RIO collaborations in television production. I'm Craig Klein. My guest has been Patrick Dengel. Thank you.
Thank you.